Oh shit, here I come. Hit it from the back, make me come. Niggas better get it wet. Put your tongue inside my cat. Little T, changing tones. Let me ride, I'll make you moan. Breaking niggas off so sweet. All these bitches envy me. Ooh yeah, I do it well. Sorry niggas, go to hell. Bitch, you say you fuck for fees? Let me see your Lexus keys. If you let him tap that ass, make sure that he's got some cash. Visa, Novas, MasterCard. Pop that coochie really hard.
Chicago, 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 Chicago. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mack Lessons Radio Show. Welcome to the Mack Lessons Radio Show. I'm your host. My name is Mr. Tariq Elite, also known as Tariq King Flex Nasheed. And I am broadcasting live in Chicago. I am doing a lecture tonight at the Chicago Center of the Performing Arts. That's on 777 North Green Street. That's downtown. So all my players and playettes, you come on out and see me tonight. I'm going to drop some real good game. I'm in a very mellow mood right now, and today is going to be a very quick show. I just wanted to drop in and say what's up to everybody. I wasn't going to even do a show today because I was very busy, so I'm doing the show very early, getting it out the way to shout out everybody. Also, this show, I'm going to take a break when I get back to Los Angeles. I go back to LA later on this week, and I got some filming to do next week for some television stuff. So I'm going to take a temporary hiatus. This is going to be the last show for about a week or so, a week or two. So don't trip if y'all don't hear me next week. I will be back, but for right now, we're going to chop up some game. And it's going to be a very brief show. But before I get into the game, today's show is brought to you by Megamates.com. Call 1-888-1888-MEGAMATES. That's where you can get your dating on, meet up with singles in your area, men and women just like you with the same common interests. You can go to Megamates.com or call 888-MEGAMATES. Also, I want you guys to check me out. They did a cover story on me for this magazine called Heavy Duty Hip Hop Magazine. And you can check out the interview I did at heavydutyhiphop.com. So you guys check out the new issue of Heavy Duty Hip Hop Magazine at a newsstand near you. But you can check out the interview online again at heavydutyhiphop.com. Want to give a shout out to Power 92 out here in Chicago. I did an interview with them yesterday. Had a very good time. Want to shout out to my boy Lewis, one of the barbers out here in Chicago, gave us a nice fresh cut. What's up, Lou? Lou has us looking real fly, looking real player, looking real Mackish. I was in Houston a couple of days ago. The lecture in Houston was great. I had a very, very good time in Houston. It was my first time going to Houston, and I had a blast out there, man. Houston is the shit. And you guys can see a small clip of the lecture that I did in Houston a few days ago on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and check that out. But Houston was the bomb. What I liked about Houston, well, what I didn't like about Houston, let me give you the pros and cons. Only thing I really didn't like about Houston was the way the freeways were set up. The traffic. You can get lost very easily in Houston. The freeways and the roads are set up very weird. It's very confusing, especially downtown Houston. I mean, we kept getting lost, and a lot of people who wanted to come to the seminar, they got lost too, because they have like 3 universities of Houston. I didn't know that, and we got lost a lot of times. So that was the only thing I didn't like, but that's just one consolation. It's no big deal. Houston is a beautiful city. And the nightlife, man, the nightlife down in Houston is off the damn chain. Players, don't sleep on Houston. Houston is the spot. As far as the nightlife, first of all, there's a lot of dimes in Houston. There's some very cute women down in Houston for my single players. There are some very nice looking females down in Houston, and there's a lot of major cooperation with the females, fellas. The women down there choosing heavy. We had an after party for my seminar at a club called ISIS. ISIS was great. Shout out to one of the promoters out there who took us around. We had the after party at ISIS. Very nice spot. The clubs are real nice down there. And there's a lot of clubs in the downtown area that's just packed. There's clubs like on every corner. So downtown Houston jumps off on the weekends, especially Saturday night. And we went to this one club called Venue. We went there like at 1:30 in the morning. I didn't know clubs in Houston closed so early. Clubs close in Houston the same time as LA clubs, like at 2 o'clock in the morning. So at 1:30 we went to Venue, and they said, look, we're closing in 30 minutes, so we went on in anyway. And them 30 minutes was off the damn chain. That club was bang. That was one of the flyest clubs and most poppin'est clubs that I've been to in a couple of years, anywhere in the country. Venue was the shit. The DJ was fly. The DJ had a live drummer on stage with him, and the drummer was drumming along with all the music. It was fly. It was giving the music that extra energy. The club was wall-to-wall packed, a lot of dimes in there. The dudes are cool down there. That's another thing I like. It wasn't no hating-ass dudes that I've seen. I didn't see any hater dudes. The dudes showed a lot of love. The dudes was real respectful. Everybody was real cool, because a lot of times when you go to cities and you have a lot of women choosing up on you in a strange city, the dudes might trip. Some dudes are real funny style about new faces coming in their city, getting cooperation from their females. I had a situation one time. I was down in Alabama. You know, and some of these small cities, man, you think that, you know, it's just a small backwards hick town. But some of these small ass cities you do not sleep on. So I remember going to this city because I met this dime in another city. She told me she lived in this little small country town. So I went to visit her. So I pull up. It was me and one of my partners, because she had a friend and I was going to hook my friend up with her friend. And I pull up in front of her house, and there was a car full of niggas rolled up across the street. And she looking at me like, oh, damn, that's my ex. Flex, you got a strap on you? I'm like, whoa, you didn't tell me I needed to bring heat? And these niggas looked like they were ready to draw down. You know, I didn't punk out or nothing, but I'm like, damn, they doing it like this in a little small town USA? So again, some dudes trip if you go to their city and the women are cooperating with you. But cats in Houston weren't even on that vibe. These dudes were real cool. No haterism. The vibe was real fly. But this club Venue was the shit. And also, and what's funny about Houston, man, Houston, if you a dude trying to creep or do something you ain't supposed to do, man, them photographers out there in Houston to put all your goddamn business in the streets, man. I was in some of these clubs and I got pictures of me on a couple of different websites down in Houston. Pictures of me with girls, and I forgot that I took pictures with the girls. It was like one site was alltheparties.com, another site indamix.com, and that's a cool site. But and I ain't got nothing to hide. But I'm just saying, if it was a dude who's trying to get his creep on, you got to watch out in Houston, man, because you'll never know. Motherfucker be taking your picture and you on a website posted up. And when I was down there, a lot of people wanted to take pictures. Girls was like, hey, let's take a picture. So I didn't really think nothing of it. But them shits we on websites, so you got to watch out for that if you a slick dude. And another thing I like about Houston, the women are real aggressive as far as spitting. The women down in Houston will roll up on you like, hey, what's going on with you? So fellas, do not sleep on Houston. Houston is the spot. Houston has the same vibe to me that Atlanta used to have. You dig what I'm saying? If you guys have lived or been to Atlanta like in the 90s, Atlanta had a real fly vibe in the 90s. Houston has that vibe now. That's what I saw in Houston. Now, some of them girls are country than a motherfucker down in Houston. Because I was at the club and certain girls were stepping to me. And one girl was like, I was standing like in the walkway and she was by the restroom. She was looking at me. She was like, come here. I'm like, what? It's like, come here. I'm like, excuse me? You know, I'm like, what the fuck is she saying? Like, come here. I'm like, oh, come here. She's telling me to come here. I said, no, I don't know. You come over here. So she walked over to me and she's like, how come you ain't come over there at all? I said, what? How come you ain't come over there at all? I said, what? She said, how come you didn't come over there? I said, you can come over. You got legs. Just come over here and talk to me. What's up? She's like, what's your name is? And this girl was cute. She talked crazy and country than a motherfucker. She was like, what's your name is? I said, my name is Tariq. What's your name? My name Red. I was like, okay, all right. Well, God bless you. Shit. So you meet all types down there. Upscale, country than a motherfucker, all that stuff. I loved it all. So now I'm in Chicago. I'm in Chicago now, and I love Chicago. Chicago is great. Totally different vibe. Freezing like a motherfucker up here, man. It's cold as hell, but I love it. I love the change of environment. A lot of hardworking people up here. People getting their little hustle on. People going to work. Real good vibe. Chicago is a beautiful city. I'm over here on the lakefront right now. They got little ice castles that they done built. They done built these little ice sculptures. Chicago is beautiful, man. This is my first time really kicking it in Chicago. Food is good out here. The food is great out here in Chicago. You get a lot of nice clothes out here in Chicago, too. I've been shopping for the last 2 days, and you get clothes in Chicago dirt-ass cheap. Fly shit. Dude, they done fucked around and showed me where to get all the gaiters and the suits. Woo. Like, why'd they tell me that? I'm in my room now, and I'm just loaded with gaiters and shit. And they had my size? Shit. And I went to some of the hood spots, too. I went to Madison and Pulaski. Real hood spot. That shit looked like the scene from The Wire. But I loved it. The people were real cool. No hate. No aggressiveness. Those are my people. We had a good time. I can fuck with the hoods and the upscale spots. We went to the suburb spots. A little boring out there. But Chicago is a smooth city, man. Real hard-working 9-to-5 type spots. I don't like all these toll roads. Well, they get their money on these damn toll roads out here. Every 5 feet you drive on the freeway, you got to dig in your pocket and throw your money up at them. They charge you out the ass to drive on the freeway out here, but the vibe is cool. The vibe is very cool out here. But I do have a bone to pick with some of you players out here. I'm trying to hit up some spots out here. Me and my entourage, I got my staff with me here, and we wanted to hit up some clubs out here in Chicago last night. So I put up a Facebook thing. I put up a comment asking people in Chicago what clubs are jumping off on Tuesday. And my thing is this, people. If you don't know something, people, don't speak on it. There's nothing wrong with not knowing certain things. Do you understand that? Don't you hate people who just act like they know shit and you know they don't know what they're talking about? They just talk just for the sake of talking, just to be seen, just saying something for some attention. I hate people like that. If you're not familiar with something that someone is looking for, just keep your mouth shut. That's my philosophy. And I'm a person who gives advice for a living. That is my job. I give people advice. I'm a game advisor. But if someone asks me something that I'm not familiar with, I'll be the first to let you know, hey, I'm not familiar with that. If somebody asks me, hey, Flex, what's the best kind of planes to rent? Hey, I really don't know. It may be a G4, but hey, I'm not too familiar with that. You feel me? I have no problem with letting motherfuckers know that I don't know certain things. It's not a sign of weakness to not know. The problem is a lot of people think that it's a sign of weakness to not be familiar with certain things, so they pretend to know what they're talking about. And I say this to say this. I say that to say this. I asked, where can you go to party? What's a good spot to go to? Me and my people are trying to go out on Tuesday. So I get a couple of responses back. Oh, you need to go to this spot. Oh, you need to go to that spot. And there's one cat, I'm not going to put his name out there. He knows exactly who he is because I chewed him out a little bit on Facebook. He was like, yeah, man, you need to go to this club called the Sound Lab right downtown. I'm like, it jumps off on Tuesday? Yeah. Go to the Sound Lab, man. It's a brand new spot. Has 3 stories, 3 levels. Has 9 dance floors, 5 bars. Bitches. I mean, just he's selling this spot. I mean, he's really selling it. I'm like, well, shit. And you sure it jumps off on Tuesday? Yeah. Oh, cool. So let me get suited and damn booted. Let me put on my new gaiters. Let me get extra crispy with it. So I get extra crispy. I get extra fly. I gather up my entourage. We go downstairs, get the rental, jump in the SUV, throw the GPS system on, start hitting corners, headed to this spot. We pull up to the Sound Lab. That shit was empty than a motherfucker. Wasn't a human being to be found. That looked like the scene from I Am Legend. It was nothing out there. No one, nothing, zilch, nada, nothing. Empty as hell. I'm like, I know this son of a bitch didn't sit up and hype a club that ain't even open. And some other people gave some suggestions, and we went to those spots too. Luckily, the spots were all in the same area. None of those spots were really popping. So I get back to the room. I'm like, I'm about to start unfriending some of these niggas on Facebook, man. And it pissed me off a little bit. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm like, I was a little pissed off that a motherfucker done sat up and pumped up a club and said something was popping, knowing that it ain't really popping. Why would you say that? Why would you even open your mouth if you know it ain't popping? Now when I get back on Facebook, I'm calling people out. I'm like, look, if you motherfuckers don't know what's happening, keep your mouth shut because none of these spots are popping. Now everybody's like, well, yo, Flex, well, you know, you probably need to just go out on the weekend. Chicago ain't really a weekday town. You know, Chicago is a weekend town. Okay, well, say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with being a weekend town. There's nothing wrong with not having the nightlife popping off on a weekday. What, do you niggas think I'm going to look down on the city because it ain't popping on a Tuesday? Certain cities just don't pop off. Say that. Don't try to put extras on stuff. Because I'm mad because I done got fly and sexy for nothing. I done wasted all this sexy. The women in Chicago deserve to see this sexy. I can't be wasting it. So that's why I was pissed off about that, man. Look, if you don't know anything, if you know it ain't popping, if you don't know what's cracking, if you don't go out like that, because obviously some of you cats don't go out like that, don't speak on it. Don't sit up and put extras on it when you know what you saying is bullshit. When cats come to LA all the time who know me. They're like, Flex, what's going on in Hollywood? I'm like, dude, I really don't know. I don't really go to clubs like I used to, which I don't. I don't even pretend to give dudes advice on where to go in certain spots. I go to like industry spots that you have to be invited to on some exclusive shit, but just on some general club stuff in LA, I really don't go to it like that. So I don't even attempt to tell cats where to go. I'm like, hey, look, go check a couple of websites to go do this. But my point is, players, stop running your mouths and you don't know what you're talking about. That's some sucker shit. If you don't know, you don't know, player. Sorry for the rant, y'all. I just had to get that off my chest. I was pissed off. Now let me read an email from a listener. Let me get into a little game because, again, today is going to be a short show. Let me get into a little game. Listener sent me an email. He said, Flex, what's up, man? I'm just keeping it macking. My name is Jonathan. That's an assumed name. So Jonathan said, Flex, I don't have a problem getting girls to break bread. I do not have a problem getting girls to give me money. The thing is, when these girls give me money, they want something in return. So the question to you, Flex, is how do I get these women to give me money without me having to do anything or give anything back? That is my dilemma. How can I get all the paper without doing any work or putting forth any effort? Please help. Now, Jonathan, with that kind of mentality, that makes you what we call a scam artist. See, you want to make it seem like you're trying to be a hustler, but that's not a hustle move. You can get somebody to give you money, but if you're scamming them out the money, that's going to be detrimental to you in the long run. And scams are always temporary. You can only scam a person for so long, usually 1 or 2 times, but you can't keep scamming people because they're going to find you out. See, that's the difference between a scam artist and a hustler. A hustler gets into a situation where everybody's willing participants. Just like a drug dealer. A good drug dealer, and I'm not trying to influence anybody to be a drug dealer, but a good drug dealer is a thorough hustler because he's getting money. The person that he's selling the drugs to, they're getting high. So they're willing participants. Right? And again, I'm not trying to make drug dealing seem positive in any way. But you don't want to be a scam artist. A scam artist wants something for nothing. When you run up and knock somebody upside the head and take their money, you have something, they have nothing. You can't keep doing that. What you gonna do? Just keep knocking motherfuckers upside the head? You're gonna get caught. They're gonna throw you under the bus. You're going to run into a store, rob a number of stores. You can only do that for so long. Heat is going to be on you. So you can't be a scam artist. So you can't trick somebody out of money and expect to keep doing it without them getting something in return. See, a lot of people think that's what pimping is. That's not what pimping is. And I've talked about this before. See, a lot of cats send me emails acting like they're on some Mackish, pimpish vibe, but really you're doing some scams. You dig what I'm saying? You can talk some female who works a 9-to-5 job into giving you a little piece of her check. Hey babe, I need some money for some surgery that I got to get done. Let me borrow $200-300. And she gives you the money, but that's not pimping. That's not macking. You just scammed the girl out of some money because if you don't really need it, you just told a lie or two to get you some money. That's not really hustling. So, and you can't keep doing that because they're going to find out to you. They're going to get hip to you. They're going to be like, okay, this dude is full of shit. Let me charge him to the game. So scams are always temporary. And to the gentleman, Jonathan, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to scam. Now, if you were some pimping shit, with pimping, the female is getting something in return. She's getting game in return of the money. Do you feel what I'm saying? With pimping and hoeing, the female is getting something in return. The dude is upgrading her. And I said this on a show recently. Pimp sell the upgrade. And even if you were a gigolo, Jonathan, if you were a gigolo and you were getting some money from a female, the gigolo is giving something in return. He's giving some dick. He's banging the woman. So you can't do anything for too long without somebody not getting something in return because there's going to be some kind of retribution later on down the line. It's just like slavery. Like slavery, this country was built on people doing something for nothing. Now, a lot of white people who were elite, white people who were in power, who benefited from the free slavery, seemingly they got over, but a lot of money was spent on defense because the fear of these people retaliating against them. A lot of money was spent on jails and prison and law enforcement to keep people in check because they know that black folks could explode at any moment. So there's always going to be some type of retribution down the line whenever somebody has been scammed. And I'm going to get more deep into that about the racial aspect of the game. I'm going to talk about that in my lectures, especially tonight in Chicago. If you guys are in Chicago tonight, I'm going to talk about how race plays a part in the game. It's real deep game I'm going to drop. Real deep game I'm going to drop. But anyway, y'all, today's show was very quick. I just wanted to shout everybody out. I'm going to be back in a couple of weeks on the Mack Lessons Radio Show. You cats will get a chance to catch up on some of the archive shows. I'm going to still be doing the Ustream shows. Do you feel me? So you stay tuned to the Ustream shows. I'm going to put up some more YouTube clips of the seminars. I put up one for Houston. I'm going to put up one for Chicago, probably late tonight or early tomorrow. So you guys check that out. But anyway, y'all keep it Mackish. I will holla. Peace.